Welcome to Drink This, Watch That.
Balado Harris.
Welcome back, I am Rico.
And I'm James, and this is a show where we analyze, predict, mock, and drink to today's most popular shows.
Today, we are drinking Omegang, Game of Thrones, Fire and Blood, Red Ale. And I gotta tell you, it's delightful.
It's pretty heady.
So you're gonna go somewhere
Nope.
with that.
It's pretty Lena heady.
You should definitely go to your nearest beer tender and say, I want some. It is really good. I think you can find it online. Check them out. It's good beer. We're watching Game of Thrones Season 4, Episode 10, the finale, titled The Children. Let's do a quick recap on where we're at in the season, in the story, in the show. Joffrey's dead, and they think Tyrion did it. And he gets sentenced to death.
He does. We get to meet Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper, and we get to see Oberyn Martell die. Because he's an asshole. He's kind of like a karma chameleon.
He comes and goes.
Too soon, man.
Castle Black is still standing after it is attacked by the wildlings. Wildlings. Don't.
You're in the musical mood tonight.
Minute.
I like it.
Little tone loke. Tone loke.
We see Daenerys take over what we believe to be the last city of Slaver's Bay. I think she now owns the whole thing. And she's holding down Marine, learning how to queen. I just came up with that.
That's good. She's Queen of the Bay. I think there's a guy with that title in San Francisco.
I think that's the actual award that's given out annually.
Queen of the Bay.
Didn't you have it in 1995?
I did, at the ripe old age of 10. I
1990.
even knew... Well, you're 10, though, you know.
You're a
just
saucy 10-year-old.
We also see Baelish making some moves towards that throne. He's got Sansa wrapped around his little finger.
Whoa!
He pushed what's-her-bitch out the moon door, and he's in control of Robin.
Yep.
A little Lord of the Vale, so...
What's her bitch? Lysa, Tully.
We're definitely going to see Baelish on the throne at some point.
And we get to follow the cool story of Arya and the Hound roaming the countryside, doing cool shit. He's been trying to sell her, and he's been unsuccessful. But I love the story.
It is so Disney of them.
Arya and the Hound. I love it.
So that's where we're at. Let's get to it.
Let's wrap it all up. Let's see how this shit ends.
You want to strike a bargain with me? Here's the bargain. You go back, you open the gates to us, and I swear to you that no one else will die.
That is exactly the sort of arrogance that had him expelled from the citadel, Your Grace. His curiosity was deemed dangerous and unnatural.
Do you think you'll be the first person dragged into a sept to be married against her will?
I will burn our house to the ground before I let that happen.
So the show starts strong at the wall. Jon Snow's heading over to little Mance Rayder's camp. He thinks he's going to kill him.
Little Mance Rayder, not Big Mance Rayder.
Big man, he's sitting on Big Mance Rayder's shoulder like this.
Yeah.
What's up?
I seek an audience with Little Mance Rayder.
You gotta talk to me first.
That's giant Mance Rayder.
Yeah. So he sits down with him, and he thinks he's gonna kill him, but they have like a nice little talk, and in a twist of what we thought was actually gonna happen, we thought Jon Snow should go up to him and be like, hey, check it out. Instead of killing us, why don't you come work for us? Come to the wall, man the wall, be my brother.
My brother?
But instead, it was actually Mance that offered the peace treaty.
Yeah, I thought it was a really cool scene. We see a lot of mutual respect between Mance Rayder and Jon Snow. I didn't realize Mance Rayder had that much respect for Jon Snow. Jon Snow was still a little standoffish, but it was a good scene. We get to see a lot of Mance's wisdom.
He's definitely been a leader for a long time, and you can tell just because he knows he can take the wall. Like, he's not going to lose if he goes up against the wall, but he still makes his offer. He's like, hey, listen, I don't want to kill all all 50 men that are still standing at the wall.
Right.
I will, if you make me. I have plans in place to do this.
Right.
So don't make me do this. I'm giving you this last chance to just make peace.
Yeah, he finally calls Jon out on his bullshit. He's like, I know you don't got 1,000 guys there. And Jon's like, no, I do. He's like, no, you don't. Trust me. We're going to wipe you out.
Dynamite Jon Snow impression, too.
No, dude.
Before any of this can take place, though, any treaties being signed, Stannis shows up. With 3,000 soldiers, it looks like.
What
and they just
party pooper.
storm this little camp, and they kill a bunch of wildlings, and of course, the Onion Knight is all like, he's the one true king. I can't do a good Onion Knight right
Davos.
now. I can normally do it. Yeah, Davos.
Davos the Bravos. Just think of Davos the Bravos.
Yeah, I can't do it right now. But anyway, so Stannis takes over all the wildlings. He puts them in chains, and he kind of interrupts this peace treaty. And it looks like he's in charge of the wall now.
Yeah, I guess so. They're just like, all right, Stannis, you have a bunch of dudes, and we have 50, so I guess you're in charge now.
We have 50 rapers and murderers, and you have an army, so take it, I guess, if that's what you want.
So I guess we're kind of led to believe that Sir Alistair died last episode, so there's really no one in charge of the wall before Stannis gets there anyway. I mean, Jon Snow kind of, but he's not really,
The oldest man there is Aemon Targaryen, the maester.
But he's a maester, so
he's not even in charge.
He can't even see. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. He's like a white Stevie Wonder.
Ooh, I spilled my Game of Thrones shirt.
It's a cool shirt. Find it online. Buy it.
Redbubble.
Yeah, so I guess Stannis and his army are going to hold the wall. If what happened at the end of last season makes sense, like they kind of know that the White Walkers are coming. Melisandre, I guess, kind of warns them that that's going on. So I guess that's their plan, is to hold the wall. But I don't know if he still wants to be king of King's Landing, because that's the wrong place to start, I would think. Because he has to go
all the way
all
south.
the way.
Right.
I don't know what the plan is there, but he's got the wildlings stopped.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting on Mance Rayder's part, to kind of jump back a second, that Mance Rayder doesn't really want to run the wall, or he doesn't really want to kill anybody. He just wants protection for his people, and that's why he kind of united all the tribes. He just wants protection from his people from what he assumes is all the White Walkers coming to wipe them all out.
He's a good leader.
He actually is a really good leader. We're kind of led to believe he's a quote-unquote bad guy, and I'll talk more about that later, but we're led to believe he's a bad guy, but actually turns out just because you're a bad guy doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Get
That's
it?
true.
He's a really good leader.
Yeah, and I'm starting to wonder why the wildlings are considered the bad guys in Westeros at all. Like, is it just because they don't bow or kneel to people?
He certainly didn't kneel to Stannis.
No, which was a bold move.
Yeah.
To someone who was so proud.
And so outnumbered.
So, to someone who cuts off the knuckles of a guy who saves him, probably a dangerous move.
Yeah. It was. I have a lot of respect for Mance Rayder as a viewer. So.
And then on the word of Jon Snow, they end up burning all the bodies of the wildlings and all the men of the Night's Watch so that they don't come back as whites.
Right. Jon Snow finally gets to say his... I didn't say anything, but he gets to burn Ygritte and say his goodbye in his own way.
Mm-hmm. It hurt him.
Yeah.
Even though in the beginning of the episode, he kind of was a little emotionless about it to Mance Rayder, like to prove that he's a hard dude.
Hardened, yeah.
No, he still cried when she died.
We see him talk to Tormund, and Tormund, like, admits to him, he's like, as a badass as I am, he's like, I could tell that Ygritte really loved you. Whether or not. I don't know how you felt about her, but I could tell she really loved you.
I bet in the book that chapter was named Tormund in Chains.
It probably was.
Or at least in your novel that you're writing.
That's my fanfic. It's a love story between Tormund and Jon Snow. Unchain my heart.
What else happened here? I think that's it, huh?
King's Landing, buddy.
Yeah, back to King's Landing.
Yeah, that's kind of it for the wall.
So at the end of the wall story, we have Melisandre kind of looking at Jon Snow in a funny way. I don't know what's going on with that. And we got basically just a clean slate for the wall. The wildlings are probably going to be under Stannis' control. At least that's what it seems like, because Mance Rayder's still alive. I don't know.
I'm curious to see what happens.
It's kind of open-ended.
Not real curious, but I'm kind of curious to see what happens.
A little more on the close-ended King's Landing.
Definitely. Right, so we see We see Cersei come up to Tywin and be like, look, I'm not marrying Loras? I'm not marrying Loras Tyrell. And he's like, yes, you will. She's like, no, I'm not. And she's like, here's why I'm not going to marry Loras Tyrell. Because if you make me marry Loras Tyrell, I'm going to tell everybody that I fucked Jaime and that none of those kids are really Robert Baratheon's kids. And he's like, what? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I banged my brother. Sorry, the rumors are true. And he like freaks out, refuses to believe it.
No, you didn't.
No.
I don't believe you. I don't understand.
And then we see Jaime and Cersei actually bang it out once again. In
one of the weirdest, supposedly hot scenes, I don't know how to feel about that, because I know in real life they're not brother and sister. And so one part of my brain is like, oh, dang, we're going to get to see Lena Headey, like, do this. And then the other part of my brain is like, you're watching Game of Thrones. This is Cersei and her brother. And it's like, they're at war. Usually, this side wins. I don't know. This side's pretty strong, though, after watching
and
the
it's
show
never
for as long
more
as it has.
prevalent. It's never more prevalent than it is in this scene. She's like, you're my brother and my lover. And I was like, oh,
please stop reminding me.
Like, all right, we get it. All right.
I get it.
It's a weird fucking
He's your
love
brother.
It's a weird love story.
Just do what you're going to do. And let me enjoy this. And so they bone right there on the table.
Take off your clothes. It's my best Daenerys. That's all you're getting out of me.
You know what we forgot to mention?
What did we forget to mention?
The fucking mountain.
Holy shit.
So the mountain's still alive.
Yeah, we thought he died, but apparently he's dying for sure.
He's in the process of it.
We know that Oberyn has now poisoned his spear with the manticore poison, and it's slowly festering away at his stab wound right below his armpit. And shit's starting to get stinky.
Yeah, they put their finger in it and they go, oh, that's awful.
Yeah, that
was a guts
Pycelle started like, it was like the REM video. You remember that video?
I don't.
Whatever.
Pycelle is clearly not as smart as his counterpart, Qyburn, the maester that got kicked out of the Citadel for being a little too curious and having experiments. So Cersei's like, is there anything we can do for him? And Pycelle's like, well, I mean, you can give him milk of the poppy to put him out of his pain, but he doesn't feel anything. He's just dying. He's just a corpse that hasn't been dead yet. And then Qyburn's like, I could do something for him. And he just gets to work. Like, he starts pulling bottles off the shelf.
Yeah.
He's like, let's try a little bit of this. And I guess he's done this before, it sounds like. And Pycelle is very against it. He's like, no, you don't want to do this. And Cersei's like, you're out of here.
Qyburn needs like a monocle that's like a microscope that comes down and like a lab coat.
One of those big lights.
His hair's all wiry and burnt.
Yeah, he's
like
got
a mad fucking
He's
scientist.
cooking us something up.
Yeah. So Qyburn starts doing some weird experiments on the mountain, but
I like that Cersei kicked Pycelle out of his own laboratory.
Yeah, he's like, fucking, I ain't no fucking leave. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm fucking leaving.
And I like how the scene ends basically with him draining the blood from the mountain. I don't know what's going on there, but he says to Cersei, he's like, this is probably going to change him somewhat. And she's like, is it going to weaken him? He's like, oh no.
Oh no.
What does that mean? What does it mean? What's going to happen in the mountain?
I think he's going to be like a Frankenstein zombie.
Well, you know what would be cool is to see a strong mountain. That'd be a really cool change in the story.
One that can't crush a man's skull.
Jesus Christ. They're going to make him stronger? What the hell is what are they going to do to this guy?
He's going to be
already
unstoppable.
like indestructible. So that's the first third of the episode. Let's check out what happened in the second third.
Let's get to it.
What is it that you want from me?
Your Grace, I ask you to let me sell myself back to Master Migdal.
You're king now. I don't have a king. You spend too much time with us, Jon Snow.
He
died so you could find what you have lost.
You're going to help me walk again?
You'll never walk again.
Valerian steel. I always wanted some Valerian steel.
Alright, and we're back. And we are at Meereen. And we see Daenerys. And she is being a queen.
I'm not in Marine. I'm in the house.
That's my rap. So, Daenerys dealing with queen shit. Someone had to come and ask her to be a slave.
Yeah, she's learning the intricacies of actually ruling a city, which we've seen over the course of the last few episodes. But she's learning that it's proven to be pretty tough to be a queen. It's the micromanagement of the actual city is she knows how to take over cities. She doesn't necessarily know how to fucking run them. We see one of the people of the city come up to her and be like, "Your dragon burned my daughter into pieces." And she's like, "Yeah."
Excellent casting on that, by the way. That dude had the perfect voice.
Perfect. Casting on the whole show is great.
Yeah.
But she's like, yeah, they kind of fucking do that sometimes. Sorry. Like the dude comes up and he's crying. He has like a bundle of, she doesn't know yet, but she's like already like, fuck, I know where this is going. The fucking Drogon ate somebody for sure.
She leans over to Barristan and is like, "Get a gift bag ready. We got another one." We have gift certificates to AMC theaters and many fruit covered in chocolate.
Do you like Applebee's?
Enjoy them. This happens daily.
You will enjoy the Applebee's of Meereen.
So I think dealing with dragons probably isn't a common queenly thing to deal with. But I mean, having to deal with the slavery thing, like, that sucks. Like, now that she has to... Do you think it was a good idea to let people sell themselves into slavery again?
I don't know. I think it's more complicated. It's not as black and white as she expected.
It's a weird moral area that the show, the books, that the story is just taken. Like,
the guy that wanted to quote unquote be a slave, he was an old guy, right? He doesn't know any free life. All he knew how to do was to teach to his former master and his kids, and he just wanted to do that for the rest of his life. And she allows him to do it, but
he saw that as like the highest level of respect that he could get is as a teacher to children, doing something that he loves, and for some reason being free prevents him from that.
Well, he doesn't. He says he doesn't have a place in the real world, or quote unquote real world. He doesn't have anything to do, which is pretty. I mean,
I imagine something similar must have happened right after the Civil War,
Yeah.
or even like even the past when slavery just ended in general across the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Like these people who have only known that life for that long, like how do you transition back into, or not back into, but how do you transition into a level of freedom? And living alongside the people that were just enslaving you.
Especially like the guy in the show, he's old, he didn't know any other life, so yeah.
I mean, the moral side of me thinks that you got to take a hard stand on that. You got to be, once you're done with slavery, you're done with it. You can't, but I mean, I don't know.
Make the master pay him, right? Hey, look, if you want to be in servitude to this guy, that's fine. He should pay you, and then you should be able to enjoy a life of whatever you want to do outside of that.
This is the first time her storyline hasn't ended on a super happy note. Right. It hasn't been uplifting. Her dragons are now in chains.
Right. So yeah, we should talk about that. What happened was, she's like, fuck. She's like, I got to do something with these dragons. They're kind of running amok, and they can't find
one specifically.
Well, yeah, really, it's the big one, Drogon, the black dragon. He was just fucking terrorizing. He burnt the sheep earlier, and he's
the one that snapped back at her too when she was trying to pet him.
Yeah, he's kind of an asshole. So she can't find him. He's
always one.
There's one in every family side. Two in mine.
Is that a Lion King reference?
That's a Lion King reference.
Nicely done.
So she's like, fuck, alright, I gotta find Drogon. He's an asshole. But in the meantime, I have to chain up these other dragons because they might do some weird shit. Which I find it, weirdly enough, I felt really fucking bad for the other two dragons. They're like, Mom, what are you doing? Fuck. You know what she needs to know? She needs to learn how to train her dragons.
Two?
Well, she should watch the first one first. And then there's a new one in theaters. Theaters near you.
She needs to knock their teeth out. So they'll be toothless. That's the dragon's name. You clearly haven't watched the movie.
Shut up, Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, the other two dragons aren't really causing much trouble. I guess she's doing it... So here's another question. Is she chaining them up because she's going to try and figure out how to train the dragons, or is she locking them up because she's going to starve them to death?
Right, she locked them in a cave, chained them up, locked them in this cave, I guess. And, yeah, I really hope she doesn't kill them. That would be shitty.
We've been waiting for dragons, like, the whole season. It sucks that, like, only the second sighting of the dragons has been to chain them up.
Right, and here's the fucking thing that sucks for me the most is, like, in my brain, like, this whole thing is gonna end with, like, Daenerys riding a fucking dragon into King's Landing and just taking over the world.
Naked.
It's just glorious. But if she kills him, that's not gonna happen. Then I was like, literally, I swear to God, and this fucking, whatever, you might disagree with me on this, if she kills the fucking dragons, I have no reason to like Daenerys anymore. Fuck her. Look, you can love her and her glorious tits all you want, but if the dragons are gone, I don't give a fuck anymore. She's relegated to Bran Stark fucking category.
I mean, she's gonna need...
like, whatever.
She needs 3 dragons to take over King's Landing. She can't do it with 1.
You don't think so?
Not with the...
She can't do it with Drogon, because he's a fucking asshole.
That's the other thing. That's the one that's causing the problems. And does he get locked up?
No.
Nope. They can't find him, so whatever. Just run around free. I don't care. I mean, maybe with the Unsullied, maybe with the other... Fuck. Maybe with the mercenary army she has, maybe with the slaves of Marine and all these other places, maybe she can take Westeros. Maybe she can. But it definitely won't hurt to have 3 dragons on your side. 1, helpful, but I mean... That's no guarantee of victory.
Yeah, but that's like the trademark Targaryen thing, right? The fucking dragons, that's their sigil. Like, the dragons. Yeah. Like, that's how Aegon originally took over the 7 Kingdoms, with dragons.
Yeah, and everything seems to be going wrong for her, too. Yeah. Like, she can't control her dragons, she can't control the people. Yeah. She's kind of a mess right now.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, her story's kind of in disarray.
She needs a Jorah.
She kicked out Jorah. Yeah, she kicked out Jorah. Jorah's now an explorer in the world. Jorah the Explorer?
The Andal Explorer.
He's the first man. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for Daenerys.
So what else do we have? Oh! So that's... Okay, so that's... I forgot. We were talking about other things this section.
Yeah, big time.
got carried away.
Yeah.
So Daenerys' story kind of ends... kind of a sour note this season. I hope next season turns around for her, but let's not forget who's writing the story. But what else happened this season, finally, is Bran's story gets exciting. Who would have thought? Bran and his little gang of buddies finally make it to the werewolf tree.
Where tree? Werewolf tree.
I think it was in the north. You're asking where?
Where is it?
It's in the wolf. They finally make it. They make it to the werewolf tree.
What wolf?
The Fairwood tree.
What the fuck are we talking about anyway? Yes, he does. He makes it to the were tree, and yeah, it's there.
After seasons of just absolutely not caring about Bran Stark.
Right, so we see the tree in his vision, way earlier in the season, and we finally see it again. And he's like, fuck, I found it. He's like, hey guys, we found it. We're at the tree.
He has a weird face.
He has a weird face.
A really weird face. I'm sure you're a great person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish. But you have the weirdest fucking face I've ever seen.
He does. Look, he looks like a normal human being in real life, right?
You can easily pay to have me beaten up because you have so much money and you're gonna be just an awesome human being. I'm not.
Come drink with us, please.
Yes.
And prove that your face isn't as weird as it is in the show. But in the show, Bran Stark has a weird fucking face.
Ironically, too, I think his storyline is going to be one of the more interesting storylines. For me, I like the kind of fantasy turn that I thought this show was going to have from the beginning. So, to see magic and that kind of stuff kind of revolving around him.
So he gets to the were tree, right? And they're like walking up towards the were tree, and then all these whites, right? Which are like the zombie human turned into White Walker type of... The whites.
In case you're wondering, yeah, the White Walkers are the people that resurrect dead people, and they bring them back as whites.
Those are the White Walkers.
Whites are kind of mindless zombies that are brought back. White Walkers are a whole different thing altogether. we don't still know that much about them, but they do control the whites. So.
Right. So we see all these whites, right? And they're basically just skeletons popping up out of this ice, and they're just fucking like, holy shit. So Bran does what Bran does. He turns Hodor into like a fucking killing machine and just starts murdering people. And Jojen, not so much. Jojen, his buddy, he gets stabbed. He's just fucking, it's bad. It's just...
I hope that wasn't cut off by the screen.
His sister Mira's just... No, his sister Mira's just bummed out. And we see this girl come out of the tree and like just starts fucking throwing fireballs. I was like, yes. I was like, this is the fantasy / magic that I would like, right? Just starts throwing fireballs and torching these fucking whites.
It's like a gathering of magic. It's like Magic the Gathering.
I knew where you were going. I knew that's what you were doing, you fucking nerd.
And, well, we've already seen Dungeons and Dragons.
Son of a bitch.
2 for 2.
Go for the third one. What else you got? You ain't got shit. Have you ever read The Spooky Old Tree by the Berenstein Bears?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's what this episode reminded me of. So the girl calls him in underneath the tree, which is where Bran's been going the whole time. And he hears the voice, right? Look for me. Calls him under the tree. And the fucking whites explode. And we find out that she's a child of the forest. They're called the Children of the Forest, who were in charge of Westeros long before anybody ever got there.
And her description of just... she was trying to give backstory to who she was and where they were. And she was being, like, super cryptic. She's like those fucking friends on Facebook who, like, post something, they're just, like, asking you. Like you know that they want you to ask them what they're talking about. And she's like on her phone text, and she's like, yeah, they called us the Children. He's looking for you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, who's looking for us? Obviously, you want me to ask you who he is. Okay, you're not going to just tell us who you fucking are. You're just the Children. Okay.
No, what's your fucking name, dude? Fucking idiot.
When I asked you who you are, that's what I was asking.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what you thought I meant by asking who you were. But yeah, so we meet her. She's cool. And then she leads them to this old-ass motherfucking dude that's kind of like tied up in the roots of the tree. Which is pretty cool.
You look like this. I'm doing an impression.
That's pretty good. Yeah, so he's the three-eyed raven that Bran's been seeing since season 1, pretty much.
And that's what we're calling him too, right?
Yeah, that's kind of... we're calling him that.
They don't say his name.
They don't. He refers to him as the three-eyed raven.
Yeah, I really wish someone would have said his name.
Or the three-eyed crow or whatever, but he's a man, so that's weird. But yeah, he fucking tells he's like, Brandon, I will give you what you've always wanted. And Bran's like, fuck yeah, you're gonna let me walk again? Nope.
You will never walk again.
That's what he says. He's like, you will never walk again, but you will fly. And that's the end of the scene. I was like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like,
I feel like we've been building up to this for so long, and you're not going to explain what we've been building up to. Why? Why would you let me down so hard?
I agree. That was a disappointment, but kind of like Bran's story now a little bit.
It gives me something to look forward to for the next
for sure
9 months.
And as much as I didn't think it was going to happen, Hodor lived through the whole season. That was cool.
Next season, Hodor versus the Mountain. I'm calling it.
Like Warg Hodor? Like Brandon controlling Hodor? Fuck. And then he dies, and then he wargs the fucking Summer, his direwolf, and then... I want to see that.
That'd be cool.
Zombie Mountain versus Wogue Hodor.
That's hard to say.
That was really hard. Especially when you've been drinking as much as I have.
So yeah, I mean, I guess that's where Brand's story is leaving off. Like,
I was okay with it though.
Yeah, I'm actually happy that the show is going to take kind of a fantasy turn. I'm kind of excited for it finally, especially from a kid who I have not cared about at all. When he warged into the wolf and into Hodor in season 3, I thought, cool, whatever. I don't give a shit. But now I'm kind of like, I might give a shit.
I give a little more shit than previously now.
A little bit. And then this section obviously ended with Arya and the Hound meeting. Podrick and Brienne. I really didn't want your prediction of that to happen to come
Right.
true.
So,
Really didn't want that to happen.
+1 for me for predicting that this was going to happen, but
You were on the ball this season.
I really was. But we knew. Okay, so last episode, no, 2 episodes ago, we saw Arya and the Hound at the Vale, getting to the Black Gate,
Bloody Gates.
getting to the Bloody Gate. Excuse me. And we knew that Brienne and Podrick were heading towards the Vale. So their paths finally crossed, and we knew someone wasn't going to make it out. We knew someone wasn't going to make it out, right?
Well, I didn't think their storylines were going to cross at all.
Right.
And we've seen a lot of storylines cross this season, especially this episode, but I thought Westeros was big enough to where they would not see each other.
Right.
Apparently I'm wrong.
It is big, but apparently there's not a lot of roads. So, whatever. So their stories crossed, and long story short, I mean, they fought, right? Obviously, Brienne and the Hound are going to fight over Arya, because Brienne's sworn to protect Arya. She's like, oh, I'm here to protect you. And Arya's like, I don't really want to go with you. I don't even fucking know who you are. And she's like, I promised your mom. It's like, my mom's dead. What do you want to do?
I think she was of the mindset of, I don't want to be with the Hound. I don't want to be with you.
Right.
Let me just go along with my journey. Stop. I wish I didn't have to keep getting picked up by people.
But she trusts the Hound. Like, through the whole season, like, we've seen them two, like, grow closer and closer. We saw, like, the Hound confide in her. She confides in the Hound teaches her to fight. Blah, blah, blah. It's been, I don't know, I've loved their story all season.
They've been good.
They have been good. So we see the big clash between Brienne and the Hound. And it doesn't go so good for the Hound, unfortunately.
It was such a good fight.
Great fight. It was a great fight, right? But yeah.
I called it with Brienne winning, though.
Yeah.
I will say.
She has the part I liked was when, so she has Oathkeeper, right? The fucking badass sword, the Valyrian steel. And she like puts it to his chest and he grabs it with his bare hands. That was such a fucking boss maneuver. He throws it and just punches it. That was so
I didn't know what was going on. Part of me thought he was going to like kill himself with it.
Yeah.
But
he didn't. But it was cool. But she throws him off like a small cliff.
After she punches him like basically unconscious.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
he's
just
still
like gets enraged. Fuck, that was a good fight.
She, and again, just such good acting. Like she was screaming the whole time, like she knew she was gonna die if she didn't just go with it.
Yeah,
fucking owned it.
Great fight, but the best part from the whole scene, right, was so Brienne wants to take Arya, doesn't want to go with him, whatever. So she hides, and Brienne's like, oh, looking for it. But we see this scene between Arya and the Hound, right? And the acting in this scene, the acting between Rory McCann and Macy Williams is fucking phenomenal. Because Macy Williams doesn't have a lot of lines, but her visual, it's so good. Her visual expressions with her face are so perfect in the scene. Because the Hound's he's basically pleading for mercy. He wants her to kill him. He's like, first he tries to make her mad. He's like, I killed the butcher's boy. That's what you wanted to kill me. He's like, stab me in the heart. You remember where the heart is? And she's like, yeah. But she doesn't kill him, which is kind of disappointing. I was kind of disappointed at the end. But it was actually a really sad scene to see like the Hound just like break down and start crying and just pleading for her to kill him. It was like fucking heartbreaking.
You do want Arya to kill him, and you don't. Like, you don't want her to have to lose someone else that she's grown attached to.
No.
But at the same time, you want him to have at least that. Like, he's had such a hard life. Like, he's had to fight his whole life through. Yeah. You want him just to be able to go out on his own terms. I don't get why Arya didn't do that for him. Maybe it's too tough for her to kill someone else that she's attached to. I don't know, but it was a little confusing as to the reasoning behind everything.
Right.
But regardless of that, it was played out perfectly.
Yeah, the acting was phenomenal. Yeah, it was kind of weird, like, why she didn't. Like, you don't know if she didn't because she couldn't, because she likes him too much, after all they've been through, or if she didn't because she's, like, exacting the revenge that she's always wanted against him, because she did want him dead. He was on her list, and she just kind of, like, takes his money and then walks away and leaves him. And just leaves him there to die. And we don't know if he dies, but I'm pretty sure, he's in
pretty messed up.
I'm just saying he's in bad. If he lives, he's in bad fucking shape.
And I always like seeing Brienne yell at Podrick. Podrick lost Arya at the end of the battle, so.
Oh yeah. Arya's
on her own, and Brienne and Podrick are off looking for her. And Podrick, of course, was looking in a completely wrong area for her.
Poor Podrick, he's dumb.
Arya was in the wrong area.
He's just a dumb dude with a big old dick. Sorry.
So
Not sorry.
that's part 2.
That was part 2. That was a mouthful, but that was a great segment.
Oh yeah. Shall we check out the last segment of the show?
We shall. No, let's not. Let's just leave it for next year.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Now we're watching it.
I suppose this is goodbye then. You knew I didn't poison Joffrey, but you sentenced me all the same.
How did you?
Valar Morghulis.
And we are in the last little portion of the last little episode of the last little season that we are currently on.
I would
Part
say
3.
it's a big fucking season.
It's a big fucking season. We're back in King's Landing. Surprise! Jaime frees Tyrion.
Yes. Fuck yeah. I honestly, in my heart of hearts, did not think that Tyrion was going to make it out of this season with his head attached to the rest of his little tiny body. But he did.
Just knowing what we know about the show, Tyrion was destined for death this season.
So Jaime comes to he opens the door. The guard's already knocked out before he gets there.
We've learned a lot about how much they like each other this season. I didn't think Jaime would ever do that for him.
Nah, but they're fucking bros. Bros for sure. Yeah, so Jaime opens the door and he's like, I'm helping you, I'm bailing you out, dude. Let's get the fuck out of here. And he's like, yo, go knock on the door and then Varys is going to take you to the ship and you're getting the fuck out of here. And he's like, alright, cool. And then Jaime's like, alright, see you later, dude. And they have a tearful exchange, goodbye. And then Tyrion's like, wait a second.
He comes to a crossroads of some sort.
He says, wait a second. There's some things left undone in my courts.
He chooses the road less traveled.
Yes, he does. Go.
He heads up to the Tower of the Hand of the King. And who does he find there? Shut up, it's not Tywin. He finds Shay. He finds fucking Shay in Tywin's bed.
Bet you didn't see that shit coming because
Oh
I
my
did it.
god. Shay has been a gold digger this whole time? Again, I'm still confused about this part.
Take my money.
So Shay is naked, ready for some more lovin'. When Tyrion comes upon her.
Is that you, my lion?
Tywin? She
Just
says.
a whore.
Tyrion is rightfully thrown off. He's like, what the shit is going on?
Like, my dad's banging my ex-girlfriend?
That's pretty crazy in itself. And then Shay instantly reaches for a knife to try and kill him, and then
Yeah.
Tyrion jumps on her and starts strangling her.
And then Tyrion says, why you gotta sleep with my dad? That's what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
That's not at all what he said.
Shay loses to a midget. Let's just put that out there. Shay, the frightening whore, loses to Tyrion.
Not what they like to call themselves. They're little people.
Little people. I thought it was back to... No, is that not politically correct?
No, it's not PC.
I apologize to you guys. I have nothing but respect. Especially
All
for
3.5 of you watching this.
Especially to...
Oh my god, +1 for me.
It's staying in the episode. It's staying in.
Alright, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, nothing but respect for P. Dinky. I knew that would do it. I knew it! So Shay loses to...
Fuck me.
To little Tyrion, I'm assuming because she just woke up and no one's really...
Did you call him little Tyrion?
Of course. I'm not gonna go with...
even.
Wait, you want me to call him Big Tyrion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. So she gets strangled with the gold necklace that she's been given, I'm guessing, by Tywin.
Probably.
Fucking strangles her on the bed.
I'm looking at Lannister Gold my whole life. That's Lannister Gold.
For sure. And so he's like, sorry I killed you, Shay. But he had every right to. Holy shit. Like, is that a turn of events? Like, has she been working for Tywin the whole time?
I don't know.
Has she been a gold digger the whole time? What's been her angle? I don't know. I'm hoping they explain that a little bit more in season... But right now, it just seems like...
I think...
She wanted power, not money. And she wasn't going to get it in the free city, so that's why she stuck around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I think when she legitimately liked Tyrion. Loved Tyrion. But when Tyrion sent her away... So? I do. But when Tyrion sent her away, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, right? Tyrion's like, I don't fucking love you. That's I like Sansa. Get the fuck out of my life. And he did it kind of to save her life, right? But she doesn't know that. So, like, she's like, fuck this dude. I'm getting my revenge on him. I'm gonna fuck his dad. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna testify against him in his trial. So, I think that's what happened. I think that's why she's such an asshole.
I wish Bronn had killed her when he had the chance.
True.
Whatever. So, Tyrion makes another stop on his way to the ship.
Well, Tyrion really went to the Tower of the Hand to fucking murder his dad, right? So he goes
to talk to him.
So he's leaving and he sees fucking Joffrey's old fucking crossbow hanging on the wall, and he's like, I'm gonna need this. So he finds his dad on the shitter. Or the throne, if you will.
It was like that scene in Pulp Fiction when Bruce Willis gets free and he goes to the pawn shop and he's like, a bat? No. A katana? No.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of fucking weapons on the wall. So Tyrion grabs the fucking crossbow and he starts going downstairs. And he finds his dad on the shitter. Or the throne. Depending on how you want to, whatever. And his dad's like, what's up, bro? What are you doing here? Funny to see you here. This is weird. This is awkward. Awkward moment.
You're supposed to be in jail and I'm dropping.
Right. So this is weird. And yeah, go ahead, you talk.
Like, I don't know how much truth we've ever gotten from Tywin. Right. He always struck me as kind of an honest guy, just a dick. Yeah. Like brutally honest to whoever he talks to. I don't know, but it seemed like he was honestly conveying that, listen, you did good by getting yourself out. You didn't have to do that.
Bravo.
I was gonna get you out. You weren't gonna die. Right. I wasn't gonna let him behead you. You're still a Lannister. You're still my son. I can't have that happen to my name. No, I don't love you, but I couldn't let that happen to my name. Like, that's what I got from it.
Right. Meanwhile, Tyrion's pointing a fucking crossbow at him. So you don't think he was just saying that to save his own ass?
I don't, but I like Tywin, so maybe that's kind of why I'm on his side of things.
I fucking like Tywin too, but honestly, self-preservation is the most natural instinct anybody has, right? So I'm pretty sure he was just trying to save his own ass. That's what I think.
I would be with you on that, except that after Tyrion told him not to call Shay a whore, he just openly does it again. Like, he talks as though he doesn't care about his own preservation.
Right, he tells him, he's like, I just strangled the whore. He's like, I don't care.
Other way around. He's like, hey, I just strangled Shay.
Yeah, he said he strangled Shay, and he's like, yeah, whatever, she was a whore. He's like, don't call her that.
Don't do it again.
I did not do it.
And then later on he's like, oh, you're afraid of a dead whore?
Boom! Shot through the heart.
You're to blame.
Tyrion's to blame. Yeah, he shoots his dad and he's like, fuck, man. He's like, fuck, this sucks.
You shot me, bro.
You shot me!
A little woozy here.
Is it from Scream?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's pretty deep.
So, I mean, Tyrion gets his revenge on Tywin. That's pretty cool. Like, if Tywin had to go, which he had to go at some point. Yeah. Homeboy's old. I didn't want to see him die of old age. I wanted to see him go. I'm so glad it happened at the hands of Tyrion. That is the only... Like, I wanted him to get outsmarted, and this is perfect.
Right. I feel two ways about this scene.
Happy and sad.
Look, I'm sad that we lose Tywin. Tywin is a fucking boss, and he's a great fucking character. Great character. Probably one of my favorites. But if he had to die, I could have picked no better way for him to die than for Tyrion, the fucking...
His legacy.
Yeah.
The stain on his legacy.
The thorn in his side. The crux in his craw. Is that a thing? Whatever. Whatever.
Stip in his step.
Pep?
Yeah, that.
Whatever. No, not that. Tyrion fucking took him out. And I was pretty happy about that. I was satisfied with the way he went out. He went out like a boss. Whatever.
He was on the shitter, but, you know.
In the end, Tywin did not shit gold.
Yeah, so Tyrion took out his dad. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. Yep. Happy Father's Day. To Tywin.
To Tywin.
Lannister.
Not the other Tywin.
It was a good death.
It was a wise death.
Yes, I set you up perfectly for it, and you fucking took the bait.
Dunk. So then Tyrion then makes his way to Varys' room, his apartment,
right
on the west end, and they head down to the ships.
In Soho.
Yeah. He's like, "Come on, buddy. I've gotten you this far. I'm not going to sell yet now." So he puts him in the box and ships him off to the free cities.
It's a very small box.
It's a very small box. And so he's loading him up on the ship, and at just when the ship's ready to go, you hear the bells of King's Landing, meaning
Right.
someone found Tywin dead.
Right.
And Varys, the smart guy,
I'm like, shit. I better get the fuck out of here.
I don't know if he knew that Tyrion killed Tywin, but he knew that if someone was dead in King's Landing and Varys wasn't there,
I think Varys is a pretty smart dude. When he first meets up with Tyrion, he's like, "Oh shit," because Tyrion's all bloody, right? He's like, "What the fuck did you do?" Tyrion's like, "Let's get the fuck out of here." So Varys kind of puts the pieces together. He's like, "Shit's going south. I'm gonna take off too." So
Yeah.
Varys and Tyrion set sail for Essos.
I also think he takes a lot of stock in Tyrion. I think he trusts Tyrion. Like, even though Tyrion doesn't know his own potential, I think Varys sees it. And I don't know that Varys is as much trying to capitalize on it as much as he wants to, like, see what the great things that Tyrion will do one day. I don't know Varys' full goals.
Right. I don't remember if it was... I think it was at the end of Season 2 where we see Varys say, you know, nobody's going to remember what you did for this city, talking about King's Landing, but the people that know you will remember. And I think he's kind of repaying the debt. He does respect him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And which I thought he turned his back on him at the trial, because he did testify against Tyrion. But...
Well, he's trying to save his own ship as much as he can from
True.
burning, but...
Yeah.
I think he's come to that point where it's like...
Varys is one of those guys like Baelish, like I've said before, where I just kind of don't question what he does because he's smarter than most people in the show.
If he had stayed, he would have had to do some, I'm sure, despicable things that are even below him,
right,
just to stay alive. And so I'm sure he's like, I'm better off with the good guy. Good for him.
Well, because, you know, let's think about it. Since Tywin's dead, you know, Tommen's in charge, but Tommen's a boy king. Who's really in charge now? Who's really in charge of King's Landing?
Cersei.
Cersei? Yeah.
Pycelle, maybe, if he has any kind of say.
But I don't think Varys wants any part of that kingdom, so he's like, I'm just gonna fucking go.
Well, Cersei thinks she's a master manipulator.
But she's not. She's a fucking idiot.
No.
She makes stupid decisions.
Varys could manipulate Robert Baratheon. He didn't care about letting Tywin manipulate anything because Tywin was a great leader. I think now that Cersei's in control, he's like, oh shit. Alright, fuck. I'm out of here.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out. Shit's going south. It's time to go.
Exactly. So King's Landing is in a bit of a panic at the end of the season. Who knows what's going to happen, but Varys and Tyrion are out of there.
Yeah. I was happy with the way that whole thing ended.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion escaped, which I wanted to see.
Tyrion alive.
Yeah, Tyrion alive, which
At
I
least.
didn't think I would see, but I did. I was kind of glad the way that ended. Yeah.
You know who else we saw leave?
Who?
Arya.
Right. So the whole thing ends with Arya. She finds a sea captain setting sail, and she's like, yo, I want to go north. And the sea captain's like, I'm not going north. I'm going home to the free city of Bravos. And
Bravos.
And if you remember, way back in the end of Season 2, Jaqen Hagar gives her a coin, and he says, if you ever want to go to Bravos, give this to any sea captain and say the words...
I think he just says anyone. Anyone from Bravos, yeah.
Right, anyone from Bravos. He says, give this coin to anyone from Bravos and say the words, Valar Morghulis. And she does. She gives him, she finally cashes in her coin and gives it to the guy, and she says, you know, Valar Morghulis, and the guy's like taken aback. He says, Valar Morghulis, which means all men must serve. Valar Morghulis means all men must die. But it's a common greeting in Valyrian.
Is it? Or is it just like a Illuminati kind of greeting?
I don't know. I think it's... I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Either way,
But
Arya's...
the guy... She offers the guy money at first, and he's like, nah, you're good. Take off. And then she gives him the coin, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "You shall have a cabin on my ship." And then they set sail for Bravos.
Yeah, something about that coin and that saying proves her as like a celebrity or
fucking badass.
royalty. I don't know what the deal is, but it also makes me wonder who Jaqen H'ghar really was. If Jaqen H'ghar is really as cool as he was, why was he captured?
I don't know. But
his backstory just became that much more interesting. You thought the coin was just like worth maybe 20 times what the iron is cost or whatever. But now we know it's like, holy shit, that symbol is worth something big. How did Jaqen come across it? Why would he give it up? These are big questions.
I don't know, but I am incredibly happy with the way that season ended. Nothing, I don't know. It just
Arya's
ended
on her
so
own.
fucking, I don't know. It was perfect. She's gonna go train to be the fucking most legendary fighter the kingdoms have ever seen, or something. I don't know.
Do you think she's off the table to be killed?
I don't think she's I don't think anybody's off the table to be killed.
I don't either, but her storyline's getting good.
It seems to me the only protection anybody has from being killed in the show is having their own storyline, right? So she has her own as of right now. So I think that kind of gives her some form of immunity.
I see what you're saying.
As far like Daenerys, perfect example, right? They're not going to kill Daenerys because she has her own storyline. They're not going to end that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to merge with some other storyline, and then she'll die if she's going to die, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I like Baelish. Another example. Baelish has his own storyline. He's not going to die. Sansa might die. I don't fucking know. I don't care.
Yeah.
But Baelish is not going to die because he has his own storyline, right?
So you're happy with the story, the season as it ended?
I'm incredibly happy with the season as it ended. I think they tied up all the loose ends that I wanted to see tied up. And yeah.
You know what I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get to see this season? Rickon.
What?
I could care less about Rickon. Fuck him.
fuck
Fuck that kid. I don't know where he is. I don't care.
Was he even at the fucking werewolf tree?
He was not in this season at all. I thought we were going to get some kind of, he's safe here. No, he wasn't in the season
didn't we
at all.
see him at the fucking Crasser's Keep for like that one episode where like...
Rickon, not...
I'm talking about Rickon.
No. Rickon left end of season 3.
Where'd he go?
With the wildling chick. The maid.
Yeah, that's right. Who gives a shit then?
He went with Osha, yeah. They're going south. No, but seriously, more White Walkers. I'm still waiting on White Walkers. I'm glad we got to see the Children of the Forest, but...
White Walkers are like these elusive things that we only get glimpses of, right? Like, I was cool. I was happy with the amount of White Walkers we got. I didn't expect the amount of White Walkers we got, to be honest. Like, we saw, like, their palace, kind of. We saw, like, their leader, kind of. I thought we would have saw more, no doubt. But, yeah, I don't know.
Season 8.
Season 8, catch you in 3 years. I don't know. I kind of like the White Walkers not being shown as much as they are. Like, being elusive.
I just want to know more about them.
I do, too.
Either way, this is a great season.
Fuck, probably my favorite season. No doubt my favorite season.
Definitely amongst the best. Definitely, the acting is only getting better.
God, the acting's so good. There's 3 things that make the fucking the show so great, and every single one's equally as important. The acting, the writing, and like the costume design slash CG. I'll put those all in the same category. All of them are fucking fantastic and don't disappoint, and that's what makes it the best show, I think.
So this is it for Game of Thrones.
This is it for Game of Thrones. I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Okay, let's talk about it.
All right. So that is going to be it for season 4 of Game of Thrones. To a good season.
To a great season. So, thanks for watching, and don't forget to help support the show by liking, sharing, and commenting on what you thought. And don't forget to subscribe.
Please don't.
Please don't.
And so we're going to be starting a new show / movie / something new in the coming weeks. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. Leave us suggestions with what movies, shows, and anything else you'd like us to watch and talk about. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you leave a comment, we'll... don't forget to...
We'll give you a bunch of money. Rico will send you a check.
He will send you a check for
$1 if you leave a comment. Rico's going to send a bunch of checks.
I'm the editor.
James is not going to send you any checks.
Thanks for saying James, because I'm totally taking that part with it.
Fucker.
Yeah, let us know if you have any drink suggestions you'd like us to try for anything in the future, because I like drinking, clearly, because I'm super drunk. Show suggestions, all that stuff. Just say hi. Just let us know. I love you guys. Like us on Facebook.
And share us on Twitter. That's not a thing, but you should follow it.
It always throws me off. Tumble our Twitter.
Share us on Facebook.
Appreciate our Facebook and tickle me on LinkedIn. Whatever you do. I don't care.
Upvote my Tumblr. Downvote my beehole.
Downvote my beehole.
Check out my shirt. Check out my ding dong. Don't do that.
So, till the next time we see you guys.
Cheers. You gotta see this. It's good. No, not those. Those are special. Those are special treats I share for only certain people. For when I have slumber parties, people get to see that.